Hello and welcome to video 2 in a series on the Ocean County Historical Society's newly renovated Birdsall Room. These short videos, created in the summer of 2020, are meant to give you a feel for the expansive exhibit on the lower level of our museum. We do hope you will visit us in person when possible to see the full exhibit. Please always be sure to check our website, www.oceancountyhistory.org, for information prior to visiting. If you were to tour the Birdsall Room in person, the first area the docent would lead you to, and actually the largest area in the exhibit space, is that dedicated to New Jersey's first inhabitants, the Lenape. For this section of the exhibit, the Society benefited from the oversight of Dr. Richard Veit, Professor of Anthropology and Associate Dean of the School of Humanities and Social Sciences at Monmouth University. Most scholars have long believed that people first entered North America about 15,000 years ago using what has been named the Bering Land Bridge. The earliest known sites of human activity in New Jersey are 12,000 years old. These early humans lived during what is called the Paleo-Indian Period. Little is known about the people of this time, but archaeological excavations have revealed a glimpse into their lives. Paleo-Indians lived in small, mobile bands of hunters following big game. The most well-known type of artifact that has been found from this time period is the fluted spear point used to take down large prey. These projectile points are named for the signature channel that runs up the center of the point. Other artifacts from the period include flint-knapped knives, scrapers, and drills. You'll see many examples of these in the display cases. The next cultural time period is called the Archaic Period. The hunters and foragers of this era developed what is known as an atlatl. This wooden device, along with a stone weight called a banner stone, is hooked into the base of a spear. When the spear is thrown, the hunter holds on to the atlatl. This extends his arm, forcing the spear to travel at much greater distances. Archaic Native Americans also used net fishing, as evidenced by stone net sinkers discovered by archaeologists. You'll see examples of these in our display cases. Cooking might have been possible by placing fire-heated rocks into a soapstone bowl or skin container filled with liquid. This technique is known as stone boiling. There's also evidence of bone and antler tools, as well as ground stone tools for woodworking, such as axes and gouges. You'll see these in our display cases too. The third prehistoric time period is known as the Woodland Period. New Jersey's Lenape culture is most closely associated with this period. By this time, most of the large game animals were extinct. Animals such as bison and elk still survived. Woodland people then began hunting smaller animals as well, which required the use of a different weapon, the bow and arrow. Projectile points thus became smaller. Woodland Native Americans also used pottery, which allowed food to be cooked directly over a fire. Pottery, as well as food storage pits for garden crops, suggest that people became more sedentary, living in small bands of related families. Archaeologists have also found evidence of woven cloth, tobacco pipes, and elaborate burials. We have samples of all these artifacts for you in our display cases. Lenape families trace their descent through their mothers in what is known as a matrilineal society. The Lenape lived in bands of 20 to 30 people along streams and rivers at the edge of forests. They constructed wooden houses made from saplings and bark called wigwams or longhouses. Some longhouses are believed to have been 60 feet long and 20 feet wide. Each clan was led by a chief who guided his people rather than ruled them. Tribal decisions were made only after consulting the elders. There were no teepees for the Lenape. When the Europeans arrived, everything changed. In 1758, through several treaties, the Lenape that remained in the state unfairly lost their claims to their remaining New Jersey lands, and the Brotherton Reservation was established in Burlington County near present-day Indian Mills. Its sandy soil made habitation nearly impossible. The reservation did have 2 mills. However, after the sawmill burned down and conditions worsened, New Jersey's first and only reservation dissolved in 1801. After its closure, many of the Brotherton residents chose to move west to live with those who had made the journey years earlier. Some Lenape also chose to stay in New Jersey with those who had not lived at Brotherton. By the beginning of the 20th century, the Lenape had become one of the most fragmented Native American communities, with populations in many states, including Oklahoma, Wisconsin, and even Ontario, Canada. When you visit us in person, be sure to spend some time contemplating local artist Michelle Farrow's interpretation of Lenape life in Ocean County. And be sure to see our oversized Ocean County map. This map, called Walking in the Footsteps of the Lenape in Ocean County, shows over 200 places where Native American artifacts have been found. And there are sure to be more still hidden in the earth. Remember, history is all around you and underneath your very feet every day. We hope you have enjoyed this brief look at the life of New Jersey's earliest inhabitants. We encourage you to watch the other videos in the series and, even better, visit us when you can. Remember to always be sure to visit our website or call for the latest availability.